Hey guys, Sundance here. I want to show you a new pistol on the market. I'll go into some detail here in just a second. With some tabletop, we'll come in close and take a look at this great little pistol. I have high hopes and expectations that this turns out to be a great pistol. It's going to be the Caracal pistol made by the United Arab Emirates. The reason I'm excited about this is something that was pushed heavily and marketed very strongly at the SHOT Show. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to test this because these simply aren't available too well yet on the market. There's a few of them available through one distributor who no longer has the distribution rights to these, and according to the SHOT Show Caracal representatives, there's currently no distributor for this pistol in the United States, but they hope to have contracts in place by the middle of 2012 so that these will become more readily available. As it is right now, there's one shipment that made it through with an early distributor before that relationship folded. So I was able to track these down, and like I say, there's just a few of them around. I'm very lucky to have an opportunity to open the box on this and to do some shooting and testing. So part one is going to be a little tabletop. Part two, we'll go out and do some shooting, and I'll come back and give you a report on that. Okay guys, say hello to the latest import from the United Arab Emirates, the Caracal F full-size service 9mm pistol. Clearly one of the new descendants from the Glock pistol, being a polymer frame double stack 9mm striker fired pistol. You can look at the lines and see that it's a handsome pistol. I can tell you it's a very ergonomic pistol. I want to go over some of the features with you and the unboxing and tell you a little bit about the history of the Caracal pistol and their current limited numbers in the United States. And then this weekend I hope to get out and do some shooting, put 500 to 1,000 rounds through this pistol and report back to you my results. One of my shooting buddies picked up his and has gone 400 rounds through his without a problem. His is the Caracal C, which is the compact version, which would put it in the neighborhood of approximating a Glock 19 in size. To give you some up-close detail here, the finish on this slide is really kind of cool. It's a very smooth, very polished slide, very slick almost. Some very interesting features here, starting at the top of the gun and moving down. You know, we have the standard Glock 17 type envelope that we're dealing with here, roughly the same size and weight. This is 18 round steel magazine, so one more than the Glock 17, but comparable in size and weight. It's a little more ergonomic grip for you know, less radical grip like you'd have on the 17. If you shoot the Glock a lot, you're comfortable with it anyway, but this is going to feel more ergonomic and comfortable to most shooters. Anyway, starting at the top, one of the things I really liked about this slide is it's contoured. You'll see that the sides are contoured in as we go to the top of the frame. Not quite as blocky. It holsters very well. Dovetailed front, so it's easily replaceable. Night sights and fiber optics are going to be available. Factory night sights are already available. Another interesting feature here is that the breech face, I know you can't really see it real well here on the video, but you'll see this block right here that represents the breech face. The only thing I can conclude from that is that the breech face is replaceable. I suspect one of two things is going on here. Either they've thought ahead that if you have breech face damage or burn, that's a readily replaceable part. Option two in the design is probably that they can manufacture one slide but have it available in different calibers simply by replacing this breech face. Interesting thought, and you can see it's pinned and rolled here, so this is replaceable. It's an external extractor. It looks to be very beefy. The only external operations and levers here is a totally ambidextrous safety and a slide release. It sets very low in the hand. You can see that the bore axis is very low, which means recoil is going to go back into the hand and wrist. You're not going to get a lot of muzzle rise. At least that's the theory in all guns that have a low bore axis. You can see also that the slide is pretty short in height. You know, a lot of that inertia then is transferred by the springs into the body of the gun. There's not a lot of weight moving around up here on the slide, so follow-up shots should be quick. The takedown mechanism I'll show you is just this little pull down bar right here. What you're going to do is start with the magazine out, trigger pull back on the slide, pull back on the takedown lever. It's just that simple. Very easy. Captive recoil spring, and a pretty typical view when you look at it from here. It's a little different than a Glock, as you'll look through and see, but in terms of a striker fire design, you're not going to see anything alien here, other than you'll note that the rear sight is actually part of the rear plate. It's one and the same. So to replace this rear sight, you replace the rear plate. It's available in a traditional 3-dot setup, or as they have here, dot on dot or figure 8. They also have another sight option available in which there is no rear sight, but this portion of the slide is ramped up and the sight's set here forward of the ejection port. They call them their quick acquisition sights. I looked at them at SHOT Show. I think it's a gimmick. I wasn't real impressed, but then again, I didn't shoot them under pressure or under speed, so I may be underestimating their value. The interesting thing here about the frame itself is, once again, we're dealing with a lightweight polymer. It is very light. It's very ergonomic, very comfortable. These panels right here, you'll see this sliver of the grip panel. That's actually replaceable with different colors. Caracal's theory is that if they make these little pieces right here in different colors, they can have guns assigned within different departments to have different colors, or different colors denoting different personnel within a department. Interesting. The ones in the United States thus far are black. The ones in Europe are available in blue and orange and red and some other colors, again, that would be able to denote something about the affiliation of their assignment of the pistol with personnel, certain personnel. The Caracal, by the way, clearly visible here and on the slide. The word Caracal refers to an African game cat. It looks like a lynx, great vertical, very agile hunting cat. That's what that's referencing there. The F is going to refer to the full-size pistol, the service pistol. The Caracal is also available in a C, which is compact, something the equivalent of about a Glock 19. As I mentioned, the slide release is ambidextrous. I so far believe that this trigger, dry firing this, I believe this trigger actually to be superior to the Glock. It's a very crisp trigger. Before I put the rail back on, I did want to point out how long these rails are relative to the design of the Caracal versus other pistols. I don't know if you can zoom in here and see real good, but these rails start clear at the back. They go all the way through. There's a little notches here, but basically from here to here, that's railed. In a Glock, as you'll recall, again, here to here. On a Glock, as you'll recall, there's a front block rail and a rear block rail, but nothing in between. So there's a lot of contact here between the slide and the frame. The other interesting thing about the Caracal, unlike the Glock, is that this is modular. The polymer frame is basically a skin. Pinned inside, if we remove the pins here and here, which are these two here and here, unlike the Glock, which would just release components, this entire subframe would be released and slide up out of the Caracal's frame. So all of the work, all of the pieces, and all the parts would be still attached and contained within this steel subframe, just by the removal of the two pins. So that's a neat modular design that I think is a strong design and probably aids into reduced production costs, would be my guess. Anyway, putting the spring back in the slide, put the slide back on the frame rails. And the pistol's back in shape, ready to go. Nice crisp short trigger, as you can see there. I'll show you that again. Very short trigger. It's not very spongy. It doesn't bounce around like some of the striker fires do. It's actually a very good trigger. I'm excited to put the rounds through it and see it. in action. I'm really excited. I hope that this gun does well. I'm always interested in a good design, and this seems to me to be a good design. It's very comfortable, it sets low, it seems to have been given an awful lot of thought. The company at SHOT Show was certainly promoting the notion that they've been in redesign and development since 2002 with this gun, and they didn't bring it to market until they were of the opinion that it was actually perfect and ready to go. So there's an awful lot put into the gun. Marketing is big, research is big. I'm hoping that the results are big as well. So we're going to go out and do some shooting and report back. Take care. Hey guys, just kind of a postscript on this. A couple things I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention during original filming. It comes standard with an extended slide release right here, which is an excellent slide release. It's very good to grab a hold of, real positive engagement. The problem is it also sits kind of right where I want to put my thumb most of the time. So in some people that's going to be perfect, some people are going to feel like it's a little bit in the way. But either way you look at it, it's very easy to use, much more user-friendly than the standard Glock ones that you'd see. The other thing is, and this is a little more subjective, but those of you familiar with the Smith & Wesson M&P pistols are probably kind of familiar with the notion that the front of the trigger, or excuse me, the frame, the grip frame area here that I'm referring to here, is thinner in an M&P than it is in the back here by the arch or the rear mainspring housing. So that as you grab the gun, it's thinner as you're approaching the front edges and the trigger guard. Interestingly, in the Caracal, it's the other way around. It's very thin back here through the arch and the rear portion of the gun, and it's fairly standard in the front. And oddly, I find both the M&P and now the Caracal to be very ergonomic and comfortable. So shooting will probably give us the final test. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll report back after we put a few hundred rounds through this thing. Take care. Bye-bye.